Hi guys, it's Nicola Flood, the Queen of Health here. So you've been asking me to do a video on my top tips for weight loss. So let's get to work.
So guys, this could be the start of a brand new chapter in your life, and hopefully what I cover over the next couple of minutes will make you start to think and make some changes into your life so it becomes part of your lifestyle and not a diet or a fad diet or restrictions or calorie control. But first, let me just put this stat up here. By the time you reach 60, what do you think are the stats, the percentage of developing of one or more of the degenerative diseases, such as cancer, diabetes, heart disease, arthritis, and could you be one of them? It's 83%. That is really scary statistics to think that 83% by the time they reach 60 will have one or more of those degenerative diseases. In just 30 days of following what I'm going to chat to you now over the next few minutes, you can have a huge impact on your overall health and wellness, whether it's weight loss, it's stress, sleep, energy, or mood. What is stopping you? None of these are true, guys. We all have limiting self-beliefs. It's not what you say out of your mouth that determines your life. It's what you whisper to yourself that has the most power. Let me share with you my top 10 tips that I share with all my clients. And this helps with the 10 reasons why people are struggling to lose weight. So why do pure weight loss diets not work? When we look at low calorie, people are restricting their calories, but obesity is still increasing because very low diets means that we lose lean tissue, weight goes back on as fat, and it's harder to shift. The low fat diets, then we start to crave fat and we end up giving in, and it's unhealthy. We need essential fatty acids. They are our life. High protein, we reduce carbs, we reduce fiber, it becomes unsustainable, boring, and unhealthy. So let me share with you now those 10 tips. So tip number 1, we should be starting to think about what we eat, because what you eat is very important. The trouble is sometimes people don't know where to start. So what I want to chat to you now is where you need to start to aim on what to eat from today. Eat regular meals. So don't ever let yourself go more than 4 hours without eating. Focus on real food rather than processed food. So again, that means that foods that are marketed as healthy, like breakfast cereals, low-fat yogurts, breakfast biscuits, and breakfast drinks, are not healthy. They are processed, and we should be eliminating them from our plan. Eat a palm-sized amount of protein at every single meal, including snacks. So if you have fruit, make sure you have protein. Eat 9 portions of veggies each day. So eat 7 veggies and 2 fruits, and limit that fruit intake to just 2. And go for the low glycemic load sugars that are fruits such as cherries, berries, apples, pears, and plums, and then reduce the ones that are higher in sugar, like banana, mango, grapes, and pineapple. Tip number 2, hydration. The very first thing we should reach for every morning is a glass of water. As we sleep, our body is naturally doing its thing. It's detoxing and eliminating those nasties from our kidneys, liver, and all our organs. So when we wake up, we need to rehydrate before we go for our tea, before we go for our coffee. If you get 2 to 2.5 liters of water in every day, you're going to be energized and focused. A lot of my clients are dehydrated, but when we start to drink properly and drink on the hour every hour, we will hydrate properly and will turn our bodies into fat burning machines. And there are a lot of apps out there that you can use that will keep you focused and will set alarms on your phone just to remind you to drink your 2 liters. Tip number 3. Don't let sugar steal your power. So this message is slowly but surely getting in that sugar is the root of everything from weight gain to diabetes to major chronic diseases. There's a lot to be gained from ditching it. So again, it's doing it bit by bit. And maybe if you are on a weight loss plan and it's not working, you really need to look at the sugar that you are consuming. So cutting it out or cutting it down, it can feel hard, especially if you spent years using sugary treats to give you enough energy to get you through today. So from today, try to minimize sugar that's coming into the diet. It means giving up the cakes, the biscuits, the puddings and jams. So basically, yes, you need to give up the sweet stuff slowly but surely. And when we look at the amount of sugar that's in certain foods that we consume, this is where it all tends to add up. And the World Health Organization recommends individuals to reduce their daily intake of free sugars to less than 5%, so about 6 teaspoons a day. And we can look how our diet has changed, especially around sugar, where from the Stone Age we went from 0% now up to 14%. Fiber has decreased, and we can see an awful lot of IBS. We can see bowel disorders and people that are bloating, indigestion. There's so much health-related things going wrong with the body now, and it's all linked with diet. Tip number 4, portion control. So use your hand. The size of your hand will determine the portion that you can have. So your protein should be a palm size. A carbohydrate should be a clenched fist size. When we look at the fats, should be no more than a fingertip of fat. If we look at, say, the nut butters, peanut butters and all those, should be no more than a thumb size. So using our hand is a great indicator there. And when we look at the plate, half our plate should be vegetables and salad, a quarter is our protein, and another quarter to 20% is starch. And just a rough idea of what our plate should look like. Tip number 5, balance your blood sugars and insulin levels. This is a little test that I do with all my clients, and it gives me a gauge, a starting point to where they are. I will leave a link below for you to try and test yours and see what your starting point is. Tip number 6, eat every 3 hours. So from the time that you first have your first meal, then you should be eating every 3 hours just to balance those blood sugars. Tip number 7, again, with balancing your blood sugars, it's the key to weight loss, the key to increase your energy, to improve your mood and your sleep. So when you are in that zone, when you are eating every 3 hours, protein at every meal, you're hydrated, you then are a fat burning machine. You will have no dips throughout the day, and your metabolism is working the way it should be. Tip number 8, look after your digestion. So they say the digestive system is your second brain. Our gut is the second brain, and we really need to look after it. And if it's feeling that it's bloated or irritated, then it needs some TLC. Anyone with an imbalance of good to bad bacteria in their large intestine will also find themselves absorbing up to 15% more calories from their food. That is cruel, I know. So if you're the kind of person who has suffered off and on with tummy troubles, it's worth talking to a nutritional professional to get things checked out. And symptoms worth investigating, including gas, bloating, acid reflux, constipation. You need to be going for a bowel movement every single day. If you have diarrhea or if you've got feelings of nausea, it is worth checking into those first before you mask these symptoms with over-the-counter medication or you do anything else. Tip number 9, rest and relax. Stress can make you fat and feel both tired and miserable. Energy nutrients that you need include B6 and zinc, which help your insulin to work your B3, and chromium, which balances your blood sugar levels. And it's a part of the glucose tolerance factor for B1, 2, 3, and 5, and coenzyme CoQ10. We need iron, copper, and magnesium to turn those glucose within the cells into energy, and B12 is required to make adrenaline, and B5 is needed to make all those adrenal hormones. You get it? We need our B vitamins, guys. And we also need to make sure that, if we are stressed, that we are taking a B complex. And finally, my tip number 10. So it is important to switch from whatever diet that you're on now at the moment to start thinking about a low glycemic load diet that's going to balance your sugars naturally. And it means that you're eating foods that does not trigger as much insulin secretion in response to what you eat. Yes, I do appreciate it may sound a little bit scientific and sometimes a little bit scary, but it's a proper way of eating. It's the way our grandparents used to eat. And you can eat your fats, your avocados, your eggs, and not feel guilty. Good fats will not make you fat. It's everything in moderation. A blood sugar balanced diet like mine will focus on real foods, on meats, fish, eggs, tofu, lentils, and you won't feel hungry, I promise.
So guys, thanks for watching, and hopefully you will take some of those tips and start to implement into your daily routine. If there's anything else you would like me to cover, please do comment in the comment box below. Give a thumbs up, and I will see you next week.